What's up, everybody? We are getting closer and closer to Season 2 of Black Ops 6 and Warzone, and most people would tell you right now that Call of Duty, not as much a multiplayer, but multiplayer and Warzone aren't in a great state, and Call of Duty put out a blog post earlier today to address that. So, of course, we're mostly a Warzone channel here, so we're not going to talk about the multiplayer stuff, but anything that affects both Warzone and multiplayer, as well as Warzone specific, we're going to talk about in today's video. So they put out this community update ahead of Season 2, updates on Ricochet, Anti-Cheat, Warzone, Multiplayer, and Zombies. Of course, like I said, we're going to skip Zombies, we're going to skip Multiplayer, and we're just going to focus on Warzone. Okay, so let's go ahead and look through some of this stuff. So the update on Ricochet, we're not going to go super in-depth about this, but they are going to have live now or layers of security and protections against cheaters in Call of Duty, as well as updates to protect the competitive integrity of the game. They updated detection models for behavioral systems such as aimbotting and other data points, including trust and hardware identifiers to target serial cheaters. Over 136,000 ranked play account bans since the mode launched. So this is for both multiplayer and Warzone. Enhancing cross-examination tools focused on reducing the time it takes to action accounts, and new detection and warning systems for spam reporting by accounts. Note, malicious reporting is against the security enforcement policy, which you can read online. I'll link that below, as well as this, of course. It's important to clarify that when a user spams the report button in-game multiple times against a user, or someone uses an illegal cheat tool to spam 10,000 reports, our system does not consider more than one single report from a player versus another, despite what cheat developers are telling players when they try to sell their illegal software. So they've been saying this for a while now, that spam reporting doesn't work, but the evidence would point to it does work. So I'm assuming they're just going to stick to it doesn't work, and then they're going to try to make it not work with this. We'll see. New detection and warning systems for repeat playing with cheaters' behavior. Note, when a cheater is banned, our system will detect other accounts it had regularly partied up with and raise flags for investigation to combat boosting and other cheater behavior. I think most people playing with cheaters regularly know they're playing with cheaters. But you had somebody last year, I think it was the World Series of Warzone qualifiers, Robezi. Turned out his teammate was cheating, which he genuinely, as far as everyone could tell, he did not know that his teammate was cheating. And that would be somewhere where this system, you would hope, would be able to figure out. But if it's an automated system with no review, and there's no review by Activision or Call of Duty themselves, then that system's going to be a problem for people that are in the competitive scene that legitimately don't know their teammates cheating. We have seen questions about detection models like IP-based training. We do not utilize IP-based bans for anti-cheats because they tend to take action against entire groups within a range that aren't problematic. For example, a college campus or internet cafe would be swept up in an IP-based ban wave when only a single machine was targeted. I understand that. The college campus example is a better one than I think the internet cafe. I don't know how many people are going to internet cafes in this day and age, let alone to go game in this day and age. I'm sure there are people. I'm sure I'm just thinking of that from a U.S. lens, and maybe that's popular in other places where not everybody has internet, or in poor areas of the U.S. And I'm probably thinking this from the wrong mindset. But the college campus example is a really good one because, like, Joe Woe and like Breadman, they got their streaming starts in college and they were on campus. So understandable why they don't do the IP bans. In December, we announced that we're implementing major upgrades to the currently online active kernel-level driver for Season 2, as well as upgrades to server-side systems in early 2025. Here's more to what expect from these updates and when they're set to be added. Season 2, new and improved client and server-side detections and systems, major kernel-level driver updates, improved to driver security, reinforced encryption process, and new tampering detection system. System 3 and beyond, a multitude of new tech, including brand new system to authenticate legit players and target cheaters. Note, as we get closer to Season 3, we'll dive a little deeper on these systems. However, it's important we don't provide too many details that could give cheat developers a peek behind the curtain. They don't want to give too many details, but they literally don't give any details other than it's something to do with authentication. We'll see what that authentication is going to be. So we have server stability, packet loss, and lobby crashing. We've seen increased reports of rubber banding, packet loss notifications, and server disconnects in recent weeks, especially in ranked play and in certain regions where some players may not have access to as many servers as others. They're monitoring match activity. Team at Demonware has narrowed down specific causes. New improvements have been made to Call of Duty server infrastructure this week. They should just go to Microsoft Azure. I don't know if Azure, whatever you pronounce it, is a better server, but at least it's internal, and if those keep crashing, they have more incentive to try to fix things because it would make Microsoft look bad. They're still on Google and AWS servers, but I've heard that would be a very difficult change to implement quickly. So I don't know exactly what they're going to fix on the server side, but I imagine eventually they'll migrate to Microsoft Azure servers. With these new improvements now in place, both Black Ops 6 and Warzone, we've already seen improvements in stability and backend. Our lobbies crash all the time. While this isn't a one-size-fits-all solution for every potential issue, with the online experience, we're confident in the results we've already seen in practice. In addition to these improvements, the team has also solved server issues in regions that had recently experienced instability and will continue to act quickly to resolve these as they pop up. As always, the Call of Duty teams will continue to keep a close eye on performance and make adjustments as necessary to deliver the best possible player experience. So kind of the first two sections combined, one of the things cheaters can do is crash lobbies by DDoSing them. Hopefully they find a way to fix that between the anti-cheat and the server stability updates. Update from the disruptive behavior team on voice moderation. They admit that their voice moderation in this section is too strong, and that they're working to make it so you can still trash talk without getting banned. We'll see. This essentially just says we're working on this. And stay tuned later this year for a new progress report from the disruptive behavior team examining results for voice and text moderation chat. Incoming Black Ops 6 updates, which we are going to go ahead and skip over. Warzone. We're going to skip this opening paragraph other than they're adding Warzone's constantly evolving game, bringing new experiences, weapons, mechanics, maps, and more. This approach keeps things fresh. Regular chances come with the risk of shifting game away from what some may consider the sweet spot, altering mechanics, features, blah, blah, blah. So what they're doing, weapons, reload speeds are faster for all weapons, anywhere from 5 to 20% depending on weapon class. That was something that they did during MW3, but because they had to go back in time on the engine to, because that's where they were working on Omni movement, that got taken away from us. Reduced penalty when sprint to fire, jumping from 35 to 10%. Increased jump ADS speeds by 25%. The intent is to find the middle ground of being able to pull off jump shots without it being the meta movement strategy. Adjusted bullet penetration across most materials, resulting in more consistent experience for thicker walls in particular. That's good because right now everything is wall bangable on all three maps. Weapon swap speed increased by 10%, effectively replicating the effect of quick grip glove perks from Modern Warfare. Remove burst and semi-auto rifles and low-rarity pistols from ground loot, allowing for more confidence in knowing how your weapon will fire when you pick it up. Now, of course, this is all stuff coming on January 28th with Season 2, which it's on a Tuesday, which is just odd. Season 1 was a Thursday. Historically, they've been on Wednesdays in the Warzone era. Now it's on a Tuesday. Just all kind of odd. The big thing here is the weapon swap speed, the sprint to fire, jumping, and ADS speeds while jumping, the bullet pen, the weapon swap speeds. Those are the big things. The burst and semi-auto rifles I actually like having on the ground. It's a little bit of a skill gap, making sure you have knowledge of the game. But as we see with both this game and Apex, they are constantly looking at how they can lower the skill gap to cater to the lower skilled players, which I understand, but a little frustrating at times. Movement. Increase both jump speed and successive jump height with one unmodified successive jump. So this isn't quite bunny hopping from MW19 from the sounds of it, but it sounds like they're slowly inching towards that. So we might have bunny hopping back before we know it. If they get good feedback on this, and people are still asking for bunny hopping, I could see them bringing back bunny hopping in Season 3. Maybe even Season 2 Reloaded. So if you're someone who likes bunny hopping, keep making noise about it. Increase the speed of the parachute cut animation, making cutting a parachute and readying your weapon significantly faster. This is a big thing if you're an aggro player and you like to land on teams. Landing in when someone's facing the other way and they turn around at the last second, they still have the advantage despite the fact that your feet are hitting the ground by the time they're actually able to aim at you because your weapon doesn't come out very quickly. Increase player velocity when landing from a cut parachute land for smoother transition in a full sprint. To me, this sounds like just less of a false stun. Oops. Audio, reducing reverb effects to improve directionality of movement audio produced by other players. The audio, I think, overall is better as in the presence of audio, but the reverb effect has made it difficult to tell where people are very often, especially for me, parachutes. Perks, combat scout pings replaced with an outline that is not visible through walls. That's good. Added new perks, dexterity. The weapon component has been increased in effectiveness and made default for all Warzone players. So now dexterity, that's the reduced weapon motion while sprinting, jumping, etc. And so now there'll be less weapon movement by default. And as mentioned, we've replicated the effect of quick grip gloves and fast reload via weapon adjustments. Mountaineer returns as a perk slot 1, replacing dexterity. We've increased the fall damage reduction substantially from what is currently in live with dexterity, though not quite the powerhouse it was during Modern Warfare 3. So this will take a little bit of testing, but right now Survivor is like the only really good. Veteran's not bad. Perk 1 slot, or perk 1 slot perk. But Mountaineer, after some testing, we'll see, might take over. I'll definitely be uploading best perks in Season 2 with some of these adjustments. Veteran now significantly reduces the damage ticks of gas grenades. Like I said, it's Veteran and Survivor for slot 1. That's about all there is, and now Veteran's also getting stronger. Equipment and kill streaks. Munition Satchel now only provides 1 additional item, down from 2, to address overstocking and spamming equipment. You know, so instead of having like 4 smokes, you'll have 3. Same, like instead of 3 drill charges or impact grenades or semtexes or frags, you'll just have 3 instead of 4. Maximum deployed tacticals and lethals reduced to 2 each, down from 3. So, like, you can't place 3 spring mines or 3 bomb traps. You can only place 2, like it used to be. Gas grenade radius, duration, and movement penalties reduced to bring in line with the vision of a zoning tactical and less of a lethal crutch. So gas grenades are going to get a big nerf. Spy cameras outline no longer renders through walls. That's good. Advanced UAVs will now show elevation arrows. Miscellaneous body shield functionality limited. No longer automatically releases players in free fall. No longer so now you can jump off a ledge and hold someone until you hit the ground. No longer provides an outline of victims' teammates through walls. So it'll just ping them on the map. Remove manual release of players, keeping them alive. Must end with an execution. So you can't drop them, re-grab them, drop them, re-grab them, and spam that. The flares that fire out of buy stations when a player is brought back can now be pinged to increase visibility on read opponents. I love that. Instead of me just yelling, that buy over there, and then having to open my map and figure out specifically which buy and direction, you can just ping the flare. That's an awesome thing, I think. Especially if you play with randoms a lot, because coming from someone who solo queues Apex or will warm up and will have randoms, I don't open my mic, they don't open their mic. In fact, right now, because of that rumor of your FPS being better, my voice chat is just turned off in COD. Match stat tracker font adjusted for better readability at lower resolutions. Okay. Bug fixes. Not reading all that. Here are some of the fixes players can expect when Season 2 launches. Address visibility of dark areas and characters on Rebirth Island. Please also do that on Urzikstan. Address players being forced to stand up while reviving down squad members. That's good. Address exploits allowing players to access unintended areas in the map. Oh, man. Imagine telling people during 2007 during Modern Warfare 4 where you used to figure out the routes to get out of the map that wouldn't be a thing anymore. Address parachutes deploying when jumping off ladders. That's huge. I'm sure if you're watching this, you've died or almost died from that. Weapons and equipment. Address weapons become inaccessible near interactable areas. Address weapons falling through buy station models. Address weapon tooltips appearing as common when dropped on the ground. Perks and contracts. Address ghosts persisting through the pre-match lobby into the match. So when people aren't showing up on UAV and they don't have loadout, that's why. Address cold-blooded not properly countering tracker. Address quick fix health regen not properly activating while plating. Address survivor preventing players from reviving down squad members. Address most wanted contracts not overriding respawn timers as intended. Operators. Address operator selection appearance issues in menu. Ranked play. In addition to above note on incoming crossplay options for console players. So up in the notes, ranked play. I don't know if it's going to come to Warzone 2 because it's not on here, but you can make it console-only cross-play, at least in multiplayer ranked. So I'm assuming that's going to come to Warzone. In Season 2, we'll see a refinement of the amount of SR required adjustments to deployment fees. These updates aim to soften the on-ramp into accessing ranked play and make the top end truly competitive. As a parting thought, we wanted to take a moment to reflect on the significance of Black Ops 6's integration, the largest in Call of Duty history, which for the first time has brought our teams and products together into a unified development environment. While this transition has presented its share of obstacles, it also paves the way for more ambitious updates and closer collaboration in the future. We're essentially laying a foundation to make new technology immediately available to all of our studios, improving development pipelines and the stability of porting features between titles, and allowing us to focus more of our time on future releases. Looking ahead, we have ambitious plans and plenty of new content coming to Call of Duty in 2025, and you have our commitment that's been outlined above is only the next phase in a series of ongoing updates with one mission in mind, making our game secure, social, and fun. So, Season 2, January 28th. All these changes sound good. My biggest takeaway from this is they, despite not communicating very well, are listening to the community. This kind of communication and transparency is very important, especially when people for the last few years, ever since Modern Warfare 2 Warzone, have been very down on Warzone, despite a lot of us still playing it very often. This is the most people have seemed down about the game. Aiden, for example, says he's not playing until Verdansk comes back. Now, this could change that. But the communication's good. The changes are heading in the right direction. Hopefully, this game has full-on bunny hopping, has a lot of the problems fixed by Verdansk, because Verdansk will be the make or break. People will fully abandon the game if that integration doesn't go well, and this communication is a big part of keeping people's confidence and keeping people interested. So on that note, I'm very excited about this. I'll link this down below. What the other article I mentioned, I'll link down below as well. Of all my social medias, linked down below. And on that topic, if TikTok does go away and you follow me on TikTok but not Instagram, make sure you follow on Instagram. I do post shorts here, but anything that's longer in that kind of vertical format on the short form platforms will be on Instagram. Of course, those also turn into full YouTube videos in the horizontal orientation, like this one here. But if you like being able to look on your phone in that vertical orientation, make sure you are following me on Instagram, just in case we do permanently lose TikTok, although it seems up in the air now. And of course, I'll be live the night of the 28th playing the new Season 2 update, so make sure you follow me on Twitch as well. And that's it. I will see you on Urzikstan, Rebirth Island, and Area 99. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.